we'll get this going so you can refer back to it again and learn. Some of this is going to be a little bit technical, but it's really, geared towards two things. Number one is really making sure that you understanding, good communication on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And then number two, if you decide to start running ads, which we're going to get into that a little bit, but I'm going to go over just the rules to avoid having your ad be rejected, and then also how you can make those ads convert better. So it'll be a little bit technical, but not too much today on the training. But the main purpose of it is to get you educated on that process so that you can start to market. I mean, you can market for as little as $5 a day right now and reach a significant amount of people. I mean, if you have more than that to spend, I mean, that's very good, and that's where you should spend it because, as I said last week, people are still home. People are still working from home. They just extended this whole thing to April 30th right now, which I'm sure the majority of you guys already know that. But in order to combat that, you need to be setting up the infrastructure for your business now, okay? Now, as I said last week or Monday, it's not the time to back off from promotion. You really want to turn it up right now, mostly because when it's all said and done, people are going to be looking for businesses and services. So you want to do everything you can today to make sure people know that you exist in the marketplace, know that you exist, and you can offer valuable services to help people in relation to your knowledge. Now, the thing to note about this is that things are changing right now. There are economic stimulus packages being launched out. There are people that are applying for loans and businesses can get loans in those things. I would do everything I can, especially in your space, to see how an economic stimulus package like that can correlate to what you know. And then I would educate people on that in regards to solving problems in situations that people might be experiencing in relation to your customers or even in your business. Some of you might have teams, some of you may not. But the point of the matter is that promotion works the best when you act as the number one active observer of everything that's taking place in the world around you. The reason for that being is because then when you go to write ads and you start to be able to produce that content and start to communicate with that content, that's going to help you rock and roll. Now, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to actually upload a resource for you, and then I'm going to drop that resource into the chat. And what this chat is hold on, content creation kit. This is going to help you to, number one, build out your content, and then number two, help you identify the audience that you want to communicate with. So people pay money for this, but since you guys are on the call, I'm going to go ahead and share this with you right now, and you can download this, and I highly recommend that you could fill this out for you right here. So let me scroll down here and let me get in there and get to the chat feature. There it is. So that link right there will open up what I call the content creation kit. And I highly, highly recommend it's in the chat if you want to get access to it. And I'm giving it to you right now in this call in the hopes that you will utilize it to your best advantage, right? So let's jump in here real fast and let's explore this. Now, the reason why I created this, let me just make sure that I've got everything going here. The reason why I created this is because a lot of people don't understand exactly how to identify their correct message to communicate, all right? I would take an extra 15 to 20 minutes today or over the weekend and fill this out because it's going to give you the knowledge that you need to go with, right? The very first thing that I have you do is to create a content list. What is it that you could talk about in relation to lending and mortgages and all that good stuff, right? So you're going to put your name at the top here, and then you're going to write 5 different broad knowledge areas. So that could be personal, that could be money, that could be lending, that could be real estate, it could be all of the above. Then underneath that, I'm going to challenge you to list out a minimum of 10 topics. Now, when I say topics, I'm not talking about thesis statements. I'm talking about very simple pieces of information, okay, that you can utilize to make sure that people that you go into social media with, you can communicate effectively, right? So this is what kind of topics would I put here? Well, I'd put, what's happening right now in the economy and how that affects your space with the real estate group. And again, thank you to Diego and Raquel from Premium Realty for putting this on. I would list stuff like that. I would list out terms. I would list out definitions. I would list out things that people don't know much about. And you will see immediately, if you do this correctly, you should have enough content to last you posting once or twice a day for about 60 days, because you know all this information already and you can promote this information already because this is what you tell people. This is what you sell. Promotion is a funny thing. It really makes sure that you are real, that you know your game, and you're not just firing out stuff that other people spew out. So what you say in your sales calls, your objections, all of that data and that information should be listed here, and content should be created about that. Articles, videos, put a picture out with a description of it. This is where you're going to get your access to. So I gave you this content here. The second thing you want to do, and it'll go into how to not get your ads rejected, but this is the audience identifier. So you're going to list every single problem that potential clients or customers experience here. And then what you're going to do with that is you're going to list out all of those problems here. Then you're going to list out the income ranges of your clients and age. I would try to get age in there, right? So if they're 24 to 30, 25 to 56, what are the ages of the people that you talk to? So you really need to know your audience really well here. This is just to help you later on, one, to set up content organically, and two, how to promote ads effectively. So list this all out here, and then move to the third column, of which you will go in and write out all of the benefits from the first column here that you have. So I already put this together for you. You just have to fill it out. It's in the chat, and I recommend you take the time to download this and do it. Now, in addition to this, I also have a scheduler. If you could do 3 posts a day, if you want to do 3 posts, that's good. If you could do 2, that's fine. But these are the times in which to recommend for you to post in, and you can schedule that out for you. Not the most important thing here, but it is there. The other thing is how to talk during a video. Like if I want to do a 60-second video, how am I going to talk to this? Now, some of you guys might have seen this if you saw me speak at Driven, but this is actually included in here. And it walks you through how to set up either an article or a short video that you want to talk to. You start with a problem. You introduce who you are, why and who you are, and how you found this problem. And then you go to the next portion of it, which is the solution that you have. Now, if you fill out this content sequence correctly, you'll be able to do this for every single video or piece of article that you have. But this sequence, I've never seen anybody do before. No Gary Vaynerchuk's or nobody's ever been able to put this together. I put it together because I live in the video world. So you find the solution and you talk about the solution, and then you find 3 key points of that solves it, that solves this original problem. Then what you want to do is recap everything that you've talked about here, and then add a call to action at the end. You could subscribe, you could follow me, you could buy, you could message me, inquire within, and we can talk. Now, this is a really highlighted version of this, but it's if you follow the points and you knock all these points off inside of your content, you're set to go. And then the second part of this is that I actually have you fill out the answers to each section. So you do this, and then you can make your video. So you can repeat this over and over and over again for the content that you have, and then you're set to go. Now from here, if you go into the next piece of this, running parallel to the communication point is actually an emotional piece, which is this orange graph down here. Now, the way that this works is that when you find a problem, you drop into either a desperation or a reality point. Like, what are people having issues with today? Do they want to sell their homes? Are interest rates too high? What's going on? You're the ones that know that information. Then you kind of come up, you introduce yourself, you talk about this, and then you run through it, and then you go back into your backstory, so it's all running through. And then we find that there are more issues, and then you have a realization, which is your problem solving, right? So you solve your problems with all this, and you have a realization. Now you move your audience up through these different levels on your 3 solutions, and people can understand and move up and become excited. They'll be like, wow, this person can help me. Percy can help me. Alvaro can help me. Adriana can help me, right? So you're moving people through the emotions, and then you're getting them to a point where they're certain, right? So I think last week we talked about the point of everything that we're doing to raise certainty for people so that they could buy from you. This is how you raise certainty with words and with video content. And if you follow this path for every video, you'll be more than set and ready to go. So I just dropped that inside of the link there. Again, you can fill this out and you can work with it. And it'll walk you through it. Here's the way that you identify objections. So whatever reasons people don't want to buy or stall or maybe are confused, list all those here so you know what they are, right? I talked about on Monday that the best people that are going to make it through this are the ones that promote and actually know their game. If you do this, I've laid it out for you. You map all this out, you are a professional marketer. Congratulations. It's not complicated. It's very straightforward. How you communicate and why you communicate like this is what's going to separate you out in the marketplace and really give you that advantage for people to talk to you. Okay? So if you follow this point and you identify objections, you're lucky because most marketers aren't salespeople. I'm a salesperson as well. I got trained by the best, okay? And I improved upon it, right? So I've blended the worlds of sales and marketing together for you and creativity so that you can get more leads out of this. And you'll see how this sets you up to convert better with ads if you want to spend that, right? So this right here, if you follow this kit, you work through the kit, you do what you're supposed to do, you get the knowledge, you actually see in front of you, wow, I have a lot of knowledge. Because most people say, dude, I don't know what to promote about. I don't know what to talk about. Well, here's how you solve it. You do the kit and you repeat it. You repeat the kit. You do the kit again and again and again and again. And you realize you've probably got a year's worth of promotional content you can work with, right? And I've made this so that it's easy for everybody to use, right? One trick that I'm going to recommend that you do right now is that you absolutely tag other influencers in this. Like right now, who is this? Agent John has tagged me inside of his Instagram story. Well, I'm going to repost that to my Instagram and I'm going to get you more expansion. So tag it with a message. But if you don't know what the message is, you got to come back here and make sure that you do this. You got to come back here and make sure, number one, that you understand what you're trying to communicate, because then you can tag other influencers that have followers and share it with them and thank them and then get an injection into their audience, right? It's a beautiful thing that you can do and it rock and rolls and it works. So this is in the chat. I recommend you download this so that you're set and ready to go with that, all right? So there's 23 people on the call. You all should be promoting like machines. And you need to know what you're promoting, why you're promoting it, and how you can sustain it, okay? Because you're going to find out if you don't know what to promote, you're going to start and you're going to say, ooh, man, I don't know. I don't know if I have the energy to continue to do this, but promotion's long-term. Promotion is long-term. There is not a single big influencer right now that's in the marketplace that just magically became a powerhouse. No, we started from zero. I started from zero. And what I'm telling you to do is what I tell all 350 of my clients to do. Wednesday, I trained 500 people in one day. That was insane. They're all clients. They all pay me. And what I'm telling them is what I'm telling you. Okay? You have to know your message. And you're going to see how this is going to tie together here shortly when we start talking about why Facebook ads get rejected, how to make ads convert, why ads don't convert. And we're going to go into that in about, I don't know, maybe 5-10 minutes here. But you have to know your communication. You have to know your products. You have to know the problems of your audience. And you have to be able to communicate where they are and solve those problems effectively on social media, right? If you're not doing that, that's why ads don't convert. There's a trick for you right there, right off the bat that you should be thinking with, okay? So download that kit, do the kit, train on the kit, and get yourself in a position where you understand exactly what I'm talking about, because it all connects up together. Now, as I had mentioned, I think Monday, that, you know, the whole purpose of promotion, it does a few things. I mean, the first thing it does is it raises certainty of people because they trust you. They feel educated by you. But number two, it also raises your credibility level in the marketplace. If Lisa calls me and I don't know who Lisa is, and I go and I look for her on social media or YouTube and she doesn't have any content, but maybe I go to Lewis, or maybe I go over to Julie or Morella or Susan and I say, oh my God, look at these guys. They're promoting like crazy. I will be more inclined to do business with them. It's not about the number of views, but I will be more inclined to do business with them because they're active, right? So there's really no reason to hide on social media. If you are introverted or you're shy, or maybe you're a little bit nervous about what people are going to say, my workaround for that is this. If you know something that can help someone and you're not saying it, somebody else is going to say it and you're going to lose that opportunity for business. And they may be saying something that's incorrect. So you need to take control of this space that you are in and promote like banshees every second of the day as often as you can. Right? We went over posting on Monday. You should go back and rewatch that. But in this scenario, if you're shy about posting, which you're all salespeople, so you shouldn't really be too shy. But let's say you are and you're a little bit worried about that. Just remember that it comes from, to push it aside, is from a place of help. I'm here to help you. I'm here to show you that I have got good information that you need to know about. I'm here to give you something that nobody else is sharing with you. And if you come from that point, what could someone say? And if someone gets mad at you or gives you negative feedback on that, well, you don't want that person around anyway. I posted a video the other day. Somebody's like, hey man, this was really bad timing. I was like, well, this person's negative. I don't need that, because for me, it's great timing. And it can be great timing for everyone, regardless of what happens. You can sustain through this insanity as long as you are deciding to promote. Alvaro, thank you for turning on your camera, man. Good to see you. Appreciate that, man. Ready to go. So you can sustain through this if you come from a place of help, and that's really all you're doing. That's all we're doing right now, is we're coming from a place of communication, and effective communication at that, right? Now, the other thing that content actually does is it allows you to protect the audience from wrong information, okay? So if interest rates are up, or if new information comes out about loans, you need to be on the front lines right now educating the public about this, because they're going to make dumb decisions on that. And if you can educate them about this, people will communicate to you. It doesn't matter if you don't have 1,000 followers or 20,000 or 100,000 followers. Be an active observer of every single thing that is happening in the marketplace right now, because you can use it to your advantage in marketing, especially in this industry. Okay, I know I say don't watch the news. People say that. I don't watch it, but I'm aware of what's happening. Why? Because I can tailor my content to this and I can make it work. All right, good. So with that being said, I want to go into some of the technicalities of why John turned his camera on. Man, now see people coming out their shells right now. Let's see if we get everybody to do it. Here's the thing. Let's go into now why ads. Oh my God, we're getting another one. Here we go. Raquel's online. Here's the thing about why ads get rejected. Some of you might know some of this, some of you might not, but there's a long list, and I'm going to give you the main reasons why ads would get rejected. So if you've tried to run ads in the past, if you've set up boosting techniques and all of this, you know, these are the reasons why ads don't get approved. Now, this content creation kit that I have given you, okay, this will set you up for your advertising, because it's all connected together. The very first reason why ads don't work is because the targeting is wrong. And by targeting, that means selecting the right people and audiences that fit you. Okay? Now, if you don't know who your audience is and you try to communicate to them, you're spending money that doesn't, that's just, you might as well light your cash on fire in your house and have some marshmallows and call it a day. What I'm talking about doing is like, how old are these people? How much money do these people make? What is the average buyer that I sell to? What is the average person that I sell to? And what is their income? What types of homes do we sell? These are all critical pieces of information that you need to know. Where are these people located? What parts around, I mean, we're talking about premium New York, you know, premium realty, right? So we're in New York. What areas do people buy? Where and why do they buy in those areas? All of these things correlate together. So you need to take an extra 10 to 15 minutes and list this out, write it down, make sure that you can know this, because when you go to set up an ad, it's going to ask you to select your audience. It's going to ask you to select where are they. It's going to ask you to select what are they interested in. When you talk to these people on the phone, some of you might develop personal relationships with these people. What are their hobbies? What are their interests? What are they doing? Do they have kids? Are they single? Do they rent? All of these things need to be taken into account. Now, do not create an ad that incorporates all of that into one ad, okay? And I'll show you how to do this a little bit later, but do not create one ad and try to blanket it. Maybe create 2, 3, 4 ads and then make different segmentations of those segmentations, meaning different versions of different groupings of that, right? But go with the top information first, and that will set you up to communicate better, right? So if you identify the communication first, you identify your audience first, you identify the objections first, and you list all the answers to that, and you create content on all of that, now you are ready to spend money. If you didn't do this first 80%, you're not in a position to run ads because you're going to waste your time, right? Or you're going to go to an ad agency and they're not going to know anything about your business or what it is you're trying to sell, and you're going to be like, my ads aren't converting. Well, they're not converting because that front 80% is not built. That front 80% is not explored. That front 80% is not 100% known. Okay? So you got to make sure that this is ironed out like freaking to the T. Okay? You got to make sure that this is known by you so that when you set up the ad, it works and it will convert. Okay? Now, moving on down the line, other reasons why ads get rejected. Okay? You cannot, absolutely cannot make unrealistic claims about anything, right? So I can't go in there and promise the world to them. I can't do anything like, I don't know how this would particularly apply to your space, but anything about, oh, I'm going to get you a low interest rate, or I'm going to get you a mortgage payment that's low. None of that's going to get approved. It just won't. It's going to be denied, denied, denial, denial, denial by Facebook, right? Because the purpose is, and you have to remember this, Facebook, believe it or not, you may think that they prefer advertisers. They actually are interested in protecting their users. Okay? So if I promote on Facebook with an advertisement that's going to affect someone negatively, they're not going to allow me in. So the basic rule of thumb for you is this going to create a bad effect? And I think we talked about this on the first call, but we don't want to create problems for people. I've got enough issues. You've got enough issues. Damn virus is crawling around. Everything's going all over the place. The last thing that I need is somebody to create a problem for me, right? So everything that I teach sets you up perfectly to never have issues with rejection of advertisements. So what does the ad look like? Well, the ad looks like, would you like to become more educated about mortgages? Would you like to become more educated about buying a home? Would you like those types of things are more beneficial because it leaves it more open-ended and it invites curiosity and it invites communication, okay? So you do not want to make any unrealistic claims that I'm the best and I'm going to do this, I'm going to increase blah, 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 blah. We're going to get you the lowest thing. That is just not going to go, okay? The other thing that you don't want to do is you want to avoid using the words your and other. Why is that? So if I use your or other people or you're this or you're that, what's happening with this is that you are more or less directly communicating to me, and it's going to make me feel like I've been singled out. I mean, that's how smart these platforms are. They're going to sit there and say, dude, how does Sonia know about me? That's weird. So that ad is not going to get approved. You want to keep off all that stuff and write from a personalized viewpoint, the word I, which is what I talked about. I think we touched on that Monday. But in all copy, in everything that you do, it should come from, I discovered this, I found this, I solved this, I was able to identify this, I found out this. Because what we're doing is, as I'm not creating an issue for anyone, I'm just sharing knowledge that I have found. And Facebook will look at this and say, okay, this person's genuinely trying to help. You see how all this is being connected together, right? So that first 80% that I'm talking about is so critical, especially when it comes to wanting to spend money on advertising. The other thing is you don't want to make people feel bad about themselves, okay? So you don't want to say like, oh, you have this problem. Oh, your interest rate is too high. Oh, you're paying way too much for your monthly mortgage. Oh, you're paying for this. Oh, you're paying. Like, none of that's going to fly. You have to be a problem solver when you're spending money on advertisements. And the communication that has to come out should be straightforward and not complicated. It needs to solve a problem and not cause a problem for me. Right? Some of this stuff you should already know, like you don't want to do anything that's violent, scary, overly sexual, no before and after shots, no content that infringes on copyrighted material. So don't download, Van Halen and put that in a video and try to run an ad with it. It ain't going to work. Or try to take somebody else's material or quotes that are trademarked or copyrighted and try to run an ad. It's just not going to work. Keep it to you. Keep it to your space. Keep it to what you know. Okay, keep it to solving problems, and that's where people are going to get into better communication with you. Also, be super clear on what you're selling. Flat out tell them, I am here as a realtor, I'm here as an agent to be able to give you a solution to do X, Y, and Z. Be very direct on it, okay? Kind of being deceitful or not really kind of running around and not really saying what it is, that will also not get approved by Facebook or any of these platforms. You want to be as direct and as concise as you can. That solves issues for people in the long term. Now, with that being said, again, if you come back to the content creation kit and you do identify the problems with audiences, how do you say that an audience has a problem without making them feel bad? You can say, I have had a problem where I couldn't just find a way to buy a home right now. And so what I'm doing is I'm getting educated. That's a great ad right there. And then you go into that. The whole point of what you're doing right now for lead generation is to ensure that people will communicate with you. Your call to actions could be as simple as, hey, send me a direct message. Talk to me about this. All right. That's some of the stuff that you need to realize. Now, some of you guys might be, you might be a little bit more down the line. And let's say you have a landing page that you're sending this ad to. Well, Facebook is going to actually crawl your landing page. And it's going to look at it and check all the stuff that I just said. It's going to check to see your spelling, your grammar, which I forgot to mention, by the way. If you have bad spelling or bad grammar, it won't approve the ad. It could be as simple as that, which is funny. So you want to check all that. Go to your landing page as well. If you are sending people to a page to get signups, do not have pop-ups on that landing page. Do not have broken links on that landing page. Do not have copy that also could violate Facebook standards, which is some of the stuff I've talked to you about right now. If you violate those things, your ad also will not get approved. Right? So you got to take responsibility for the whole journey all the way through. That landing page should match what you're saying. That landing page should match the color scheme and creative that you're doing. Don't go to Google and download some random image that's low quality and doesn't make any sense or has anything to do with what you're talking about. I'll give you an example. I had a guy say, we're hiring. They went to Google, downloaded a we're hiring image that was huge, and the ad was declined. Why? Well, here's another reason. Ads and images can't have a lot of text. Text should be small if you want to put that on a picture. Right? I'm throwing a lot of information on you, but it's recorded so you can go back and watch it. But keep the ads with very minimal amounts of text on it so that they could actually be promoted. If you want to put a logo on it, cool. If you want to put a small phrase on it, that's fine. But keep the image mostly an image and avoid text below 25%. Like bottom left corner, small, totally good to go. Right? So the creative of the actual picture and the image should match what's on the landing page. What you say should match what's on the landing page. There should be no hidden surprise or anything like that. This also goes for recruitment as well. If you're trying to recruit people, same thing. Don't make promises. Avoid, oh, well, John started with us and he was making 40 grand a year. Now he's making 800,000 a year. Can't do things like that. Can't do anything that has to do with money that way. But you could talk about the opportunity. You could talk about the increase in lifestyle. You could showcase how your lifestyle has improved in a video, but you can't write or say anything, oh, you could make upwards of $800,000 a year. It will be declined. We don't want to add anything like that into the content, right? So the whole customer journey is your responsibility. The whole thing. what's being said on the front, what the ad says, and then where does it go? Now, ads are typically run through a business page on Facebook. So if you don't have a Facebook business page, you can go ahead and create that. You can't run an ad from your personal page. You need to have a business page set up. So if you haven't done it, go ahead and do it. On Instagram, switch your account over to a business profile as well, which you can do. In the way that you do that is if you go to edit profile, you can go ahead and change the category and fix it and switch over to a business profile or a public figure profile, because that will give you analytics and it will give you the ability to run any ad through Instagram. So if I'm here, like this video I just posted has 7,000 views on it. On the top right, it says promote. Because I switched my account to that, I can run an ad on Instagram for $2 a day or $5 a day and reach more people. Right? Good. So with that being said, I want you to really take stock on the ways in which ads get rejected. Now, conversions by default, okay, getting an ad to convert, all right, that is done by following what I had just listed out to you. Some people will say, man, I got 100,000 impressions and I don't have any conversions. Well, somewhere along that customer journey line, there's a drop off. Somewhere along that line, communication's wrong, image is wrong, link is wrong, landing page is off. Somewhere along there is wrong. Targeting is off. Obviously, that's huge. But if you do this content kit, you're set. You would have your targeting already identified and handled. You are 80% ahead of every single other person on planet Earth that's not paying to have Facebook marketing taught to them. I'm just trying to simplify it, right? Because some of us don't have $30,000 a month to spend in advertising and marketing, right? You have what you have. You have maybe $500 extra that you want to spend in promotion. Well, $5 a day, $10 a day, that's about $500 a month. So you're set, okay? So if you follow the plan and you move through it, you'll be good to go, because at the end of the day, everything that we're doing is to, number one, raise certainty and to have people increase communication with me, right? So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to jump over to my business page and just vaguely, top level, show you how to boost a post, which would be your primary start for doing advertising. Okay. Now, the reason why we're doing this as a boost first is because that's the fastest way to get going. There's other things you can do using Facebook Business Manager, which we can go into and set up. But I really just want to start with something that's very, very simple that everybody can have access to. Right. So let's go down and find here something that I think is good. All right, so for whatever reason, this post, which has nothing to do with promotion, did really well, but I'm trying to find the one. All right, so this is an ad that I recently boosted. And what I'm going to do is, let's say, actually, I'll pick a new one. We'll come up here. Let's say I wanted to boost this particular ad. Now, this is basically my viewpoint, my experience, my deal. So I'll click Boost Post, and it's going to give me two options right off the bat. Option number one is I can get more people to watch my video, which from a brand awareness standpoint is very helpful and it works. The second one is connect and chat with potential customers, which might not be a bad idea for you today because everybody's at home, right? So we want to get people into conversations with us. So we have two things we can do. We can get people to watch the video, and then we can also direct message people right inside of their messenger inbox, right? Now, what I can do with this is I can come down here. Let's say I select welcome and connect and chat with potential customers. I can come in here and edit my welcome message, and I could change this to whatever I want. It'll say, hi, name of the recipient. Wanted to know how I could be of service for you with promotion during the lockdown. Or maybe just keep it that simple. With promotion, then I can add other levels of questions. So if somebody says something and they respond, I can set what the next response would be, all the way down to let's book an appointment, and we go from there, right? So that's just the message. It goes right in, and we can rock and roll with this. Now let's talk about how to set up an audience. So you could do people you choose through targeting, people who like your page, people in your local area, custom audiences. Apparently, I've created a Corona audience, which I'm marketing to for one of my ads right now. And then you can set your budget. But let's say I want to create something from scratch. So we click that and we give it a name. We'll just call this Sislo. We'll just call this Sislo test here. And now I can choose both men and women. I could target just men. I could target just women. And I can select an age bracket. Look at how all this ties together. So if you did the content creation kit, you already know what ad you want to run, who you want to run it to, and what age bracket you want to hit people with. So this one's between 30 and 45. Now I have selected Miami and New York by default. Those are my two biggest places. So I can back this out and I can add my own cities in here. So I could do Chicago. If I spell it right, usually that helps. Chicago, Illinois. I can do, let's say, Austin, Texas. Like you could select whoever you want. You could keep it local or you could go big. Obviously, the bigger that you go, the more spend you're going to have to reach more people. Now, you could do 25 miles around Austin, or you could drop it down to like 10 or 5 miles around Austin or any city of your choosing. It's totally up to you. Now, down here is a little barometer. It's going to tell me your audience size is defined. Good job. Potential audience size, 1.5 million people. We're still pretty big there. That's still kind of large. But you want to keep this dial as close to the middle as possible, maybe a little bit more to the left for specifics. Now, remember before I said, hey, I don't want to have, I don't want to try to cram all of the interests of my customers into one ad. Maybe I want to do 3 or 4 different ads. So maybe I will select 5 or 6 different things that maybe 4 or 5 interest, hobbies, job titles, things of those natures, and then build 4 ads out of it. And then I would add that here, right? So I have small business owners, sales, employment, investing online, money, healthcare. This doesn't have anything. This is a different ad that I was running with. But again, these are just selected industries. But you could do things like this: loans, Quicken Loans, mortgage loans. You could do interest rates. You saw that pop up right there. That's something that people would be interested in. Homes, home. You could say real estate. I think I did that. Real estate broker. You could target as many people as you want. So you just want to get really specific and know exactly who your audience is, and keeping this detailed. But I wouldn't go much more than this. Maybe have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different things that you can utilize, and then add that in. So we've got a good audience. We're good there. We'll save the audience. And then now that'll be added to this particular ad. Down here, I can set a duration. I can go as long as I want, and I can set an end date, or I can run it indefinitely. Now, my total budget right now is $500. So I will spend $31.25 a day. Right? With that kind of a reach, I'll reach 1,300 to 3,900 people a day. Now, how many people in an area that you work as an agent, what would that do for you? I'll give you a great story. I had the apartment I have now. I used to live across the street. The real estate agent, smart enough, who understands marketing like this, set up an ad to target. Let me come back. I'll show you exactly what he did. What he did was he got rid of all this. He said Sunny Isles Beach should be here. Sunny Isles Beach, Florida. And then he dropped it down to like 5 miles, dropped it around to 10 miles around Sunny Isles Beach, Florida. Okay. And then what he did was he just did renters. And guess what? So I went on Zillow.com. I went on Trulia. Trulia is a job site. All the websites that list homes. And he had an open house from 12 to 4 p.m. on a Saturday, and he ran the ad for 2 days. And that ad popped up in my newsfeed for this unit. And I said, wow, I'm going to go take a look at it. I called him. He had his phone number on the ad. Guess what? I walked across the street, loved it. I took the apartment. It was done. It was that easy. Now, I understand we've got a virus situation where listings and showings might be a little bit difficult, but those are some of the things that you could do right now, later on when this thing opens back up. So you want to set your targeting correctly. You set your audience correctly. You get it maybe as much as that. and then you set your budget. So you could drop this down and you could say, well, I only have about $150 to spend, and I'm going to spend $9.37 per day. So that's like a cup and a half of Starbucks, and you could reach 490 to 1,400 people a day. If you get 4 leads out of that, what would that do for you? If you engage 10 people out of that, I mean, you're just supplementing what you're doing inside of marketing and your sales calls to do this, and you become your own lead generator, right? So everything would be coming up together. Now, I won't go into some of the conversion stuff. That's a little bit more detailed, but if you had a landing page, you would get what's called a Facebook Pixel, which everybody probably heard about by now, and you'd have to install it, and then you would be able to track how many people filled out their data. But for this case in point, to start marketing today, to start collecting leads today, to start talking to people today, to start opening up conversations today, which is what you need to be doing, for $10 a day, you could reach people and have conversations. It's a no-brainer. And if you follow all of the stuff that I had talked to you about, let me turn this off so that I come back and show you this. If you follow the path, the process, the communication, the raising of the certainty, the building of your own brand and content right now, you will be positioned to have people want to communicate with you more. You will be in a position to actually supplement and survive what's happening. So all my agenda that I work with my clients on is to get that 80% upfront handled and then move through, and to avoid having ads rejected, and to avoid having people say, I don't get enough conversions on my ads. Well, if you follow that initial process right, you will not run into an issue. Then here comes the fun part. So once you get this ad approved, you have to sit there and you have to kind of monitor it. You have to watch. Let it run for 5 or 6 days and see what's going on, and then take it through there and then say, all right, this ad's not working. Let's go back and change some of the messaging. But you will have enough data to be able to work with. Do not abandon ship because the first ad didn't work immediately. You got to sit, study, analyze, and then reapply that information over again. All I've given you right now is the fast track to getting it to work now. Building your brand organically and then running ads with that content, you're good to go. All right. So with that being said, this call is recorded. This call gives you these 2 calls that we have. Go back, watch them, study them, apply the information. I do have ways to grow your Instagram as well, which we'll go into next. I think we'll do Monday. I think we'll do the next call on Monday. Raquel or Diego, you could put that in messages if you think that that's beneficial. But the point of the matter is that there are other ways that you can grow your accounts on Instagram and get a swipe up feature, which you need 10,000 followers to do. And that would enable you to generate your own leads from there as well. But I know that this was a lot of data and it was pretty technical. I don't want to overwhelm you on that. But the main goal of it is, number 1, do the content creation kit. Just get the data, get the information, and position yourself to be able to know exactly what to say, why you need to say it, who you're talking to. Now, good question, Diego. You do not need a landing page to promote yourself on Facebook. You can just use that direct messaging feature that I discussed with you, and people will just start communicating, or they'll just direct message you. If you do learn more on some of those ads, you can actually get that. People can just start communicating to you, but you don't need a landing page to start, although it is recommended to have. If you need a landing page, I can help you with a landing page as well. Whatever you need outside of this call as far as services, I can assist you with, okay? Landing pages, videos, graphics, all that stuff. But bare minimum, you can use your own content, you can use your own information, you can take selfie videos, selfie photos, and that will be enough for now if you're trying to conserve income. So I'm going to open this up to questions for the next 5 or 6 minutes or so. And then next week's call on Monday, we'll go into Instagram growth and LinkedIn. Don't abandon LinkedIn as well. Get on LinkedIn and use all of that stuff. Diego asked me, would you suggest start to promote yourself now or wait until everything goes back to normal? I would promote now. I would promote now. I actually increased my advertising spend right now. And the reason being is because I want people to know. I want people to know I'm here. I want people to know that when the time comes, you will need me. I want to provide you with so much value. I want you to be educated so well that when this is done, I come flying out as one of the top entrepreneurs or agents or individuals that survived and helped people. So I would not promote now. I would invest in promotion. Even if it hurts a little bit, I would invest into it. It's a tax write-off as well. It's advertising. So you can write this off for your company later on. But now is the time to promote. Raquel asked me, how long before an event should we start promoting? Give yourself maybe 3 weeks. Oh, for an open house? Sure. I would give 2 to 3 weeks notice if you can, as much leeway as you can to circumvent the area and schedule appointments with people. 2 to 3 weeks is really good. 2 weeks is probably good. 3 is probably overkill, but it will give you enough time to let people know that it's there, right? So 2 to 3 weeks is ideal. I would let that kind of simmer and build and build and build and build up to the event, whatever that event is. All right, what other questions do you guys have? I hope that this was helpful. I hope that this was beneficial. I hope that it gave you insight to marketing and promoting. So how do you retarget your ads? So retargeting is a little bit more in-depth, but what you want to do is once you collect the data and the information from your first campaigns, Facebook is going to save that data. And then when you go to run an audience, when you go to run an ad again, you can specify a previously run and targeted audience with a second ad. So you would say in the boosting section where you select your audience, it gave you the option to select, choose an audience that you've already created, and you would retarget them. There's other ways to do that. You can ingest an entire email list, which is a little bit technical, but we'll go into later on. But you could take your entire list and put that inside of your ad and say, Facebook, find everybody that's got that on Facebook that are these people, and then market to them and people like them. That's technically retargeting, also known as a lookalike audience. When you promote on different platforms, do you target different audience since different people use certain platforms more than others? Not necessarily, because the audiences are there, right? But your interests, especially on Facebook and Instagram, I mean, Instagram is owned by Facebook, so the audiences will show up there. If you run ads to get video views or to drive traffic to landing pages, it will ask you, would you like to run ads on Instagram as well? So it will ask you, so there's really no difference between the ads. YouTube, the audiences are there. I use Facebook to collect data and information for my advertising campaigns because Facebook's probably got the most data, that and YouTube for me, on how to specify and target my ads appropriately. What's your opinion on having a website? I think it's a perfect time to make sure you have a website. Again, you want to invest in things that are going to support the expansion and infrastructure of your business. You don't need a website to advertise, although it's beneficial. It's good for SEO. It's good for Google search. You could put YouTube content on there. You could put blog articles on there. You can run traffic for lead gen to there, and it just helps you with credibility. Do you need it? No. Would I advise it? Yes, but you don't need it for it to work in your direction or favor, okay? Email marketing, totally a good thing. Again, as you start to collect leads, they may not buy the first time, right? Email marketing just allows you to stay in communication with people over time. Maybe you have an open house. Maybe you have a special. Maybe you're launching a real estate training program. Maybe you're launching a resource for agents. Maybe you have an offering that you've done business with other people that you're splitting 50-50 as a partnership on. Email marketing, everything that substantiates communication with a potential customer today is 100% where money should be spent. Everything that enforces the expansion of a business, the promotion of a business, the promotion of yourself, a communication that you have that reaches people in the marketplace is 100% supported right now. And if you need help with that stuff, I do those things and I can help you with it. And I'm more than happy to give you advice, train you, do it for you, whatever you need. Do you edit content to target a specific city or area? Sometimes you can, not all the time, but you can. Let's say you're talking to people in Aventura or Sunny Isles Beach or Miami. I would probably create content that is targeted to those people. Again, earlier on that first call, you want to communicate to where people are at. People in Miami, We're our own country over here. We got our own thing going on. It's very strange. It's not, I don't even think it's part of the United States with the way that they've got things going over here. But how I would communicate to them is how I'd communicate differently to a New Yorker or a person from New Jersey, or maybe somebody from California, or maybe somebody that's making $30,000 a year or $60,000 a year or $100,000 a year or $20 million a year. Those people have different viewpoints, and your business, your content that you create on social media should communicate to all of those people. Again, that content creation kit serves the purpose, which I just put it back again in chat, that serves the purpose to be able to communicate to all those types of people. Because again, if your ad's not converting, maybe you're targeting an audience that only makes $30,000 a year. I would fix that. Maybe you're targeting an audience that only makes $1 million a year. Maybe you're targeting an audience that makes $500,000 a year. You have to have different pieces of content that comes as a byproduct of that content creation kit to enable you to promote to those people. Makes sense? So yes, I totally agree. Edit content to target a specific city. All right. Good. So let's leave that there for right now. We're going to have another call on Monday at 12. Unless it changes, we'll make sure that we have the, thanks, John. I really appreciate that. I hope that brought you a lot of value. Again, this is recorded, so you can go back and watch this. Hey guys, I got a phone. I've got Instagram. I've got Facebook. I've got LinkedIn. Hit me up. If you need help, I'm here to help. If you need things done for you, I can help you. Diego and Raquel are here. They put this together to make sure, from Premium Realty, to make sure that you guys have resources. I'm a resource. Use me, promote with me, tag me and stuff. I promote everyone, all right? Have a great rest of your Friday afternoon. I'll talk to you guys on Monday, and I'll send you the recording here shortly. Thank you so much.